Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with that. It's Saturday night. I'm building a model kit. I'm hanging out with all of you. Jam is here. Jam's throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote, or the Bear Cave and the Lego, I should say, in the chat. Our tier 2s, nowhere to be seen. But that's okay because they still support the channel and I appreciate that. Aristofan's here. Hi, Aristofan. Happy to have you here. Thank you very much for the model kit and Lego sets you sent. That's rad. Appreciate that very much. You may notice a new background. I'm changing up the background on the intro. I got tired of the old one, so we got this one going here. I like it. I think it's pretty neat. Will I keep it for a month? Maybe. Will I keep it for 2 months? I don't know. Will I keep it for 3 days? I mean, at least. I don't expect to change it right away because I kind of like it. But yeah, I am here to work on the Galbaldy Rebake. Galbaldy Rebake right there. It's a fun design. It's a good big horn, a big bazooka that sits on its shoulder, a big hammer that's also a claw, and a tiny shield. I love a big mech with a tiny little shield. Very fun. Well, I appreciate that, Aristofan. Thank you. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well. This is the intro portion. If you're new to the stream, here's what happens. Pre-show, before we start the stream, I start and turn the stream on, but I don't go live yet. No. I let the stream run a little bit, give time for people to come in. Then, the introduction. That's this section. This is the intro here. I say hi, we chat a little bit, we see what's up. Then we go into the main feed. I do the main, we get the overhead webcam on. We're building a model kit. That's how things work here. Is there an intermission at about an hour into the stream where I do some plugs? Yes. Do I talk about anime that came out in the previous couple days since the last stream? In the second hour of the stream? Yes, I do. Is that basically the format that I do 3 times a week for about 2 hours? Yes. Does every stream end with me rating, taking a good portion of y'all along with me, going and checking out somebody else who's doing a stream, so that you don't have to go and find it for yourself? I can offer maybe somebody you haven't been seen before. Yeah, that does happen on a Saturday. So, I hope you like it. I hope you like the stream. Is this intro portion where I am asking questions that I answer myself that are rhetorical, but I then follow them up with answers? Hey, Lashbrook, welcome. Is that what this intro is? Is it just a method of me killing time to allow for more people to come into the stream? Because I like it when there are people here. Yeah. Ristvan says, I'm a math teacher. I appreciate the predictability. So that's the thing, right? I like mixing up with like, oh, we're going to build this thing. Like, we're going to build something from Star Trek. What? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for, well, the stream's now going to be 45 minutes and I start right away and it's at 7 o'clock now and I don't talk about anime anymore. Now I talk about golf. Like, any of those things outside of the 45 minutes, because I don't want to stream for just 45 minutes. Anything out of that I mentioned, I think is like fair game and totally possible. I don't know if I would suddenly get into golf. I don't think I would, but I could. But it'd be unlikely that I would pull all of that at once, just out of nowhere. I like to think that I would slowly build to that. Let's check this here. Well, we got 2, 4, 6. All right, we got a few more people here in the chat than it says are watching the views, which is great. But yeah, I'm excited to build this stuff. I'll say this off the bat. I'll get to it in the current anime thing. I didn't watch Fire Force this week because I was actually kind of busy today. I got surprisingly busy. I'll talk a little bit about it, but I got surprisingly busy today, and I didn't get to it because I didn't want to. I'm going to keep watching the show. I'll talk about it on Monday, the actual episode. But yeah, I wasn't driven to check it out. That happens. Ristafan says, as a teacher, I try to to have predictable structure, but variety within the classes. Holy hell, is that tough right now? Yeah, I mean, nothing is the new normal is chaos. So yeah, trying to have some sense of like, this is what's happening, and this is what we're doing, and this is how it's going to be. That is quite the challenge. So good luck to you. Hey, Lord Crashington. Lord Crashington says hi. We appreciate that very much. We're going to get this build stream started. I'm going to tweet out. I like to retweet the tweet that I make with additional information. Sometimes it's like, let's go, or we're doing it, or something. This one is, I just wrote out, hello, I am building a model kit on a Saturday night, which is incredibly accurate. And if I had also included via live stream, that would have been, yeah, pretty great. Pretty succinct. But let's go to the Galbaldy. Galbaldy is a very fine looking kit. You can see it right here hanging out there. You see the big cannon in the photo. You can kind of see the big hammer that sits on its back. That big hammer also opens up into some sort of like crab claw, pincer, wire cutter. I don't know, bolt cutter. But yeah, bolt cutters. You know what? We're going to call that a bolt cutter. I think that's right. The inverted jaws of life, as it were. But we can see we got the head done, the body done. Obviously not the backpack yet. Shoulder, one whole arm done here. So we'll put that aside for now. We'll come back to it. Maybe we'll put it right there. I've got some stuff already cut out. I put a couple decals on, or stickers, I should say. We're not doing decals. Whew, we are done doing decals after Monday and Thursday. It will be a while before I put a lot of decals on a kit because that was a lot, but it was still a fun build. I got some model kits and I got some Lego in my backlog, the personal backlog. Now I have 3 things to build in the future as well, coming out of my wish list, which is really nice. I have some stuff coming in the mail at some point in September. Oh, folks, I'm gonna. My $10 patrons vote on what I build next. Is often the case. I also put the poll out and let them decide. It's particularly when I have backlog stuff because if it's in my backlog, it jumps my queue. I'm gonna let you know as soon as I can. I'm building that death scythe. All bets are off. That death scythe gets built. Now, I'm not going to stop building the kit that I'm working on when that thing shows up in the mail sometime this month. Don't worry. So if I'm working on a kit, I'm not going to pause that kit to build that. I've only paused a kit once in all of the years that I've been building. Did I ever stop what I was doing and then come back to it? And that's because for Valentine's Day, I really wanted to build the Love Phantom, which is kind of like a death scythe. I really wanted to build that on the stream on Valentine's Day, so I paused the kit I had been working on to build that and then went back to that kit. That's the only time I've ever done that. So whenever I finish whatever I'm working on and have in my possession the new death scythe master grade, the Rosette something or other, I forget the name of it. I can look it up. It's the manga version. It's the losers manga version. It is called the Death Scythe EW Rosette Unit. Rosette Unit. When I can build the Rosette Unit Death Scythe, which is basically a Death Scythe with a variant of the wings, I'm going to build it. That's going to jump any queue that is happening, any promises I made, anything bought off my Amazon wish list, all of that takes a back seat. Because on this stream, we built death scythes. I have built every death scythe in every formation possible. Lastbrick says, I got an email about my P-Bandai stuff saying shipment begins September 22nd. Nice. I'm glad you got that. My email from P-Bandai said, things will ship. And then it didn't say what was shipping or when. It was it wasn't complete information. So that was, I'm going to look up that email actually. Bandai. Let's see. Ending soon. Premium Bandai pre-order product estimate shipping date notification. Yeah. Uh, I didn't actually get any information in my email. Oh no, it is there. Okay. You know what? It is in there. Shipment begins September 22nd. I did miss that. Okay. So at the end of September. I wish it was sooner, but that's okay. Lashbrook, I'm glad I looked that up. Thank you for mentioning it. So, okay, we're a ways away from the Death Scythe and also the Tall Geese 2 real grade, but um, be aware. Sometime at the end of September, whenever those arrive, I'm building that Death Scythe as soon as possible because it is a Death Scythe. We have built the master grades of all available Death Scythes. We built the high grades of all available Death Scythes. We built the Love Phantom, which is the Death Scythe like based on the Death Scythe design from Build Divers. We've built the SD Death Scythe. Um, Basically, we built everything we possibly could in that that is a Death Scythe related. Um, yeah, we built the Hell in high grade, 1/100 scale high grade, because there is no master grade of that kit, which is a shame. I wish there was. It's a good kit. Okay, so then we need, let's get E1 20. Get that piece in. Go there. Yeah, I've got that coming in September. Also, the Gundam Clear color and injection machine are also supposed to be shipped in September, but who knows? Those might get pushed. You never know. And then in October, I get the Cup Noodle and the Figurized Ultimate Gohan. And then they originally said December, and then immediately were like, actually, it's January, is the 1/100 Ultron Gundam Eat Endless Waltz, which is the Nanaku. That is coming in January now. So that is obviously a ways away until I will have that lovely kit. Someday I will get that beautiful Ultron. The Nanaku we built in its Endless Waltz in the high grade form, but I'm very excited about building that in the master grade because that's one of those kits that's just incredibly expensive to get the master grade version because they only made a few of them. It was between that and the Tall Geese, not Tall Geese. I built the Tall Geese. It was between that and the Heavy Arms. But I was like, I'm only going to buy one of them, and that's the one I went with because I do like the double heavy arms, but we've built that. We've built the high grade of that, and I was like, I think I'm going to be okay getting that. Maybe I made the wrong choice, but I think I made the right one considering how I feel about that kit. And I know people have asked, like, hey, they got that new version of the Sandrock. Are you going to get that new version of the Sandrock, like the manga version of the Sandrock? And the answer is no. No, I'm not. I've built 2 Sandrocks on this stream because I was going to, the plan was to build everything from Gundam Wing and Endless Waltz that is available. So eventually, I finally built that. But it's one. Not only is the Sandrock my least favorite wing, Gundam, it's my least favorite mobile suit in Wing in general, which means that I like the Serpent more. I like the Leo more. Like, forget it. It's not a fun suit, and I don't like it. I think it's boring, and it looks too much like the Wing, which is supposed to be the main ass Gundam. It looks, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it because the Death Scythe is a cool, interesting design and going for a different vibe. The Heavy Arms is in many ways a throwback to some old kind of design stuff. Weapons heavy focus. It's also got a knife blade, like a wrist knife. So how am I not liking that? And yeah, what was the other thing? There was one more thing. It's like no, it's just mostly those thoughts. Of just like why I prefer. And the Sandrock, like I said, I just think it's kind of boring. Oh, and then of course while it does look somewhat simpler, the Shenlong has like an extendo arm, and then when it's rebuilt, they're like, let's give it two extendo arms, and then the Endless Waltz version is we'll keep the extendo arms, but like, hey, you know what's kind of cool about this thing? Like, what if we make it like way older looking and way more like Chinese, which is supposed to be, the colony it's from. We just make it a luck dragon. Oof, so good. We'll get rid of the shield, which is that's obviously the worst part, folks, of the Ultron Gundam, the second version of the Shenlong, where it has two extendo arms, but they want to keep the shield for some reason, so they just put the shield like on the shoulder. It just like lives here, and like, come on, just drop the shield. He doesn't need it. It's okay. I don't know. I got thoughts on Gundam Wing and the mobile suits within, as you are all very goddamn aware. I want to talk about some food stuff. So, not major food conversations. We can talk a little bit about food stuffs here. The ongoing processes. Do you ever like get macaroni for macaroni and cheese? Like you're gonna get yourself some elbow macaroni, and then you get it, but they're huge. They're like incredibly large elbow macaroni. That happened to me, and it was real weird. It ended up turning out good. Homemade mac and cheese was excellent, very tasty. Was afraid it would be a little dry. Was not dry, which was very nice. But yeah, kind of silly. Just like incredibly large noodles. They didn't seem like the elbow macaroni was going to be that large, and then cooking them plumped right up. And I'm doing it in a big Chemex bowl instead of like a flat casserole dish. But yeah, turned out great, so not complaining. Um, it has been so nice to have like access to a kitchen and food stuff. So, like, I made eggs today, right? Like nothing major, but like, you know, it was nice to just be able to put everything together and have all access to, just like a kitchen you can walk around in and you're not bumping into things. Like multiple people can move around in this kitchen without it being an issue. It's pretty open, and that is just so nice. It's just so nice to have access to a great kitchen. I'm trying to take advantage of all of that while I'm here. Also, thing I'm taking advantage of, air conditioning, because it's bad out there, y'all. It is hot. Like obviously, I am grateful that our hurricane scare a couple weeks ago ended up being just a tropical storm that came through. Not a big deal, but it has been certainly worse for other people, and they have my sympathy. But it's hot. It's very hot, and I mowed the front yard today because I am the guy that mows the lawn now. Um, and it was that thing where it was like my bandana was soaked through, and it's not even a huge yard. It was just so hot that I was just like, by the end of it, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Um, but yeah, I finished that up. Yeah, and then like, so my folks have a pretty long driveway, and there's a big tree that has branches that are now like going over the yard. It's not blocking like the garage or anything, but it is causing just leaves to constantly be falling. Like the wind will pick up and there are just going to be more leaves. And I feel like I sweep the driveway every day because I'm out there like doing other stuff, or like, oh, I mowed, or oh, I'm gonna ride my bike, and it's just like, just see it. I'm just like constantly. I feel like I'm constantly sweeping, and it's not my place to want to chop that tree down, or more respectfully, just like trim the branches, and like kind of like trim it back. It's not my place to make that call, but it's just a lot of stuff. I will say that is like that's not like it's not a bad thing, but it is a thing that I am already over. I'll say that. I'll say that. Yeah. Instead of being like, oh, I don't like this, I'll just say like I I'm over it. Just the very concept of yard work. Not having it. Not happy about it. Uh, could do without it. Could definitely live without it. Um, how y'all doing in the chat? Let me know what's going on with you. If you got anything going on, anything you're into right now, doing stuff. Yeah, I took a little bit of my day. Uh, I was a guest on a podcast that hasn't gone up yet. They're banking a bunch of episodes. It is a comedic-ish, debate-ish podcast where they bring a guest in for the lightning round at the end of each episode, or at least some episodes. I don't know if each one, but some episodes. And so I got asked to be on that, and it was really nice, and they'll be out in October. So that was fun. It was nice to be asked to be on something. I was happy to do it. Did I do this wrong? Yeah, I did. Ooh, I put on Armon wrong. This is wrong, I think. 'Cause it looks like that. Yeah, okay. This is I believe this is should be like this, and then this would be like this. Yeah, okay, that looks way better. All right, I messed that up. There we go. Well, you learn from your mistakes, folks. Guess I could have looked at the photo closely, but there we go. Yeah, all right, that's better. Yeah. Okay. Top of that. Well, the head came off again. This head does not want to stay on because this neck piece wants to. Lastbrook says, trying to get back into Control and do all the DLC before Crusader Kings 3 comes out on Tuesday. Today I installed new memory in my iMac. It did not go as smoothly as I would have liked. I am so done with computer tinkering. So, Aristophan, that's a shame. Yeah, iMacs are, in my experience anyway, probably the easiest Mac to work on, but that is not saying a lot because because particularly adding more RAM is like honestly the easiest thing, but like especially the all-in-one iMacs, like it's still a pain to work on those, and then like when you're working with like Mac laptops, like back in the day, you could take out a disk drive, like a CD drive, and put in another uh, uh, like a hard drive fairly easily, but that was like the only thing you could really do in any way, shape, or form with any ease because it is Macs are just hard to work on because they don't want you to. They are not designed to be fun, breezy activities. Uh, they're meant to purchase them and then use them. Um, Yeah, but going back to what Lashbrook said, I have not dipped at all into the Control DLC. I can't wait, but just haven't got into it. I'll probably get some time in tomorrow night. I think that's gonna be my Sunday night. Uh, it didn't boot, says Wristfan, and so I had to rearrange the RAM to get it to go after just using the new memory just to make sure it worked. Oh, yeah, okay. So you replaced it to see if that worked, and then you had to figure out where it went. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like it should be a simple process, but sometimes it's just not. And then yeah, when you get new RAM, you're like, well, is the RAM bad, or did I do a bad job, or just not a bad job? Did I just do uh, not as thorough a job as I assumed I had done? Um, it could be weird, but I'm glad. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, obviously that didn't go as smoothly as you would have liked, but I'm glad you stuck with it. It's, sometimes you can just get that stuff done, and it's like, oh, neat. I did the thing. It can be rewarding, even if it is annoying. I'm also trying out the Control DLC and looking at Crusader Kings. So, I mean, Crusader Kings is not on my radar. You have fun with that, like legitimately have a lot of fun with it. But that is not on my personal radar of games that I am super excited about. Um, Also, spending money on games is not a thing I can do really at the moment. Can't go wild with stuff. I can get a few things here and there, but I can't go uh, off the rails too much on purchasing stuff. Got to try to be real frugal. Basically, expendable income goes to buying model kits to build on stream. That is kind of thing. And then theoretically, at some point, I will work more substantially on things and then have savings so that I can eventually move back to New York. Because that is a thing that I would like to do at some point. But we'll see. We'll see if and when that becomes a reasonable thing. I would like there to be some industry in New York for me to go back to. That would be the nice thing. Also, I'm trying to figure out. I got to figure this part out here. I'm kind of waiting for it to be September again to try again. But I did try to get someone to sublet my storage space in New York. And that's like, that wasn't just like, I didn't mention it on here because I'm not looking for like a rando or even a semi-rando, even a beloved rando. I'm looking for like somebody I used to work with or a former roommate, or like a colleague's wife or husband or partner, I should say. Probably just easier to just say partner. Like that kind of thing, like that kind of connection. Mainly because if I'm subletting part of my storage unit out, then they have access to my storage unit, which means they have access to my stuff. Yes, a Randy Rando. Yeah, I don't want a Rand. Oh, I certainly don't want a Randy Rando. Ooh, no thank you. No thanks. I mean, look, they can be Randy, but I don't need them to be a Randy Rando. Uh, but the hope would be that eventually I find somebody who I know well enough because yeah, like I said, they have access to my unit and then they have access to the stuff that's in there. So I don't. But also like the idea that maybe I could get somebody in there, offset the cost because I do have empty space in there. They would be able to keep an eye on things because maybe they would be in there more regularly than I will, obviously. And then also, maybe there's something that I would like them to get me. Right now I can't think of anything, but maybe I would be like, hey, just like go into this one duffel bag and mail me like pull out 3 shirts, 5 shirts, and mail them to me. Like maybe I want a couple of my shirts back. I don't know, or like maybe that would be great. Because I brought a little bit of everything, but I only brought like one hoodie because I don't know. I just was like, oh, I'll put back a hoodie. So maybe like, hey, find these things in there and mail them to me. Call me, go to the unit, call me, FaceTime me, and point some stuff out, and then mail it, and then I'll like, reimburse. I'm having a little trouble getting this thing in here. This is important because either the feet were working on here, but this one piece does not want to slide in. So I'm going to go with a tool. Let's try the tweezers. See if the tweezers. No, tweezers aren't going to work here. All right, so maybe we'll just kind of nudge it here because we got to basically. This is going to be the top of the foot, and then it's going to pop in so that the legs can pop into that and lock in to our connector. So we have to get it through, but also have it so that this is just turning. It's just turning while I put it in, and I need it to not do that. So maybe if I do this, it won't turn as I pull it through. Maybe that'll work. The other one didn't seem to be a problem, but this one is giving me some issues. I need it to give me no issues and just work. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on, like a little bit here and there. Like I said, I was on a podcast. I did do some freelance stuff today, which was pretty good. I'm prepping. Basically, I'm doing prep for a thing where I had to watch some stuff and kind of take notes, and then they're gonna have me come in and give feedback another day, which was exactly what I want to do. Please, I always want to do that stuff. If I can give constructive criticism to a thing, I love that. Have I ever told you about the one of the weirder little jobs I had a couple of years ago? Um, so I had access a to like a VR, like a phone-based VR um, system. A friend, it was my roommate had it. It was like they had like a Samsung, you know, like Android phone, and put it in this thing, Gear VR, and then you could use it. And so, because I know people in games, like small people in games, I would get codes or web tool things that I have to side load or whatever, and then I would play their VR experiences and give feedback. And it would be like, hey, I know that you have this 360-degree footage, and so you were like, well, we can make this a VR experience, but like, there's nothing here. What am I supposed to be doing in this? This is not actually interesting or engaging. Uh, or this game made me motion sick. This game is, uh, whatever. Like, oh, walking like this pointing thing here. You need to like motion blur some of this stuff here in some way because it is very hard for me to continue to play this for more than 5 minutes. Uh, that kind of thing. Or this is really innovative. This is cool. I love that this is not a thing where I shoot things. Oh, you made like a puzzle thing. That's fun. Did Control reset all your mods and selected weapons too? I started up and it was all empty. Ooh, Lastbrook, that's a bummer. I haven't heard about that. If that is an ongoing thing, I just can't get this gosh darn piece to line up right. And it is. I'll say this right now, y'all. This isn't great. It's gonna go like this. And we did one. I did one already. I did one already. But yeah, I did that for a while. Eventually, the company that was making a bunch of them put out some games, but then or experiences, but then quickly stopped contacting me to review things. So either they didn't like my feedback or they stopped being a business. But I will say, because I had checked in with a friend about like, hey, do you know like is this like a good amount of money? And I was told by like three different people that did a lot of consulting and testing that it was a good amount of money that I wasn't getting under charged or underpaid for the work I was doing. So I appreciated that. It was paid well, and it was also a good chance to do some VR nonsense. Uh, the skill tree is also a bit different, and you can reset it if you need to for a cost. Ooh, okay. It makes sense that they would mix some stuff up for the DLC. Y'all, I don't know what's going on here. I went and looked to see like, oh, is this need clipping? Is this like the it looks right, the nubs looks right, everything looks like it was cut right, and it just needs to slip in like this. This should not be a difficult thing, but also I can't really work around it because eventually it has to I have to put a foot on this thing because I can do on the other side. This goes here. This goes like this. Boom. 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 We got feet. That did happen with the Foundation DLC. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Yes. That did happen then. Yeah. I think the new DLC is probably not. I don't know what they've done because you are playing It is different with it being an Alan Wake experience, so I think it is a little different. But yeah, that was probably the oddest like job I've had recently because obviously like I'm picking up contract work here and there, but most of my contract work stuff is temporary customer service jobs here and there. Like, oh, we're gonna have a run on thing. We're doing a sale and we need more people. Can you help us out with that? We're gonna give you this email thing to do. There's assist mode. Oh yeah, nice. Um, like that has been a lot of uh, the job stuff I've been doing lately. And it's not like I wouldn't call it like exciting stuff, but it is like, it's stuff I can do. Um, let me ask y'all, how is phone VR? So, Aristophan, watching 3D movies was great. Watching 2D movies was actually, here's the real thing. Gear VR, the best feature in Gear VR was playing movies that were not 3D, just like on a screen. Because even though it was right here on your face, it felt like you were watching it far away. So I would have done that for like watching movies like on a plane or something. Games were hard. The new stuff, the new Oculus stuff, or whatever, whatever it's called now, but the newer stuff I think is supposedly way better than what I had been using, but it was still fun. And it still got the job done for a little bit. Yeah, there were a lot of like 360-degree experiences. Like here's Cirque du Soleil, and you could turn all the way around in your chair or standing up and see it. Here is this comedy group that did a 360-degree video thing, but they cheated because as you turn around, you see different members of the group, like the same person doing a different thing. So they just patch together a bunch of stuff, but it's in the round. Uh, like a lot of that kind of 3D experiences. We're underwater. Lots of we're underwaters. Uh, and then some shooter stuff. The thing with the Gears VR thing was like I had a Bluetooth controller to my phone or to the phone, and so that worked pretty well. But yeah, it worked out okay. Let me know, y'all, lately what's been a weird jobs thing you've had if you had one in the past couple of years, because that was definitely an odd little side gig. Particularly, let's say side gigs. Yeah, if you got any side gigs lately you want to let me know about, we can riff on those for a little bit. While I spend still an exorbitant amount of time on this thing, I do not know why this is taking so long to do. Nothing about this is hard. It's just not does not want to go in. I do not know why. I go to push it in, and then it turns and pivots, and that is bad because I don't think I'll be able to pivot it when it's connected. I mean, I could try. I guess I could try that. I guess I could try that. Uh, just get it in at all. All right, so I'm gonna try this. I don't think this is gonna work. But I'm gonna push this in to where it's set, and then try to turn it while this is connected, and we'll see if that allows me to turn it in there and doesn't just pop out. I don't think this is going to work, but we'll try with tweezers. Oops, ow. Go. Yeah, no, that is not going to work. Damn. Okay, well, let's pop this open. Keep trying. This happens now and again. Mostly it doesn't happen with high grades of this kind of year or era. Usually it's like old kits of mine. I find that I suddenly can't do a thing that I should definitely be able to do, and there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to do it. But it is just not working. It's been a long time since I had one of those on a kit from like 2015 on, I should say. Maybe a real grade here and there has been giving me some guff because it's just tiny pieces. Usually that's the problem. It's not like, oh, I can't get this to sit right. Like this. I don't know why this isn't working. Alright. But yeah. Chat, y'all been a little quiet tonight. That's okay if you want to be. That's alright. I'm alright with that. It is a light night. We don't got a whole lot of folks hanging out with us this evening. But yeah, if you want to let me know. I had asked you a question, and that's okay. Like, yeah, you got any weird side gigs that you've done? I mean, I've told you a lot about my jobs that I've worked on over the years. Some of them were definitely not really a weird job thing, just weird. Last night I went to a Rude Tales of Magic live show that was YouTube and bought a poster for a live show I didn't actually go to. Well, yeah, you bought a commemorative poster for a YouTube stream that you went to or YouTube show. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, the live show thing has been kind of strange. I've been to a few. Um, I've been to a few stand-up shows, which is very strange. I've been to a few live podcast things. That has been fun. A couple charity things, things like that. I've done a few of those, um, and they do feel odd. The one thing I haven't done yet is I haven't done one of these Zoom escape room things because some escape room companies have been doing this thing where you can get a guided experience. So basically, they have an employee walk through it, and they've tailored it to be like less like search puzzles and more like. So they've taken out a lot of the search puzzles and focused on the problem-solving puzzles, right? Like the we got to figure out this code, and here are some of the information. And the person is basically they're just rigged up with like a head camera, and maybe they also have another camera on them where you can see them, and you hear them, and they're like, "Hey, what do we do?" And then you're in a Zoom call, and you figure out, you're talking to your friends or whatever, and figuring out the puzzle. Uh, I've heard from some people that have done that, and I have not done that yet. I respect the idea of live theater in any way, shape, or form, or live entertainment, interactive storytelling, all of that. We did it. We did it. We did it. Okay, so I got to make sure that I don't screw anything up with the rest of this foot assembly because that took forever and it didn't make any sense. But yeah, I haven't done one of those myself, but I appreciate anyone that's doing any sort of live performance. A lot of respect in this climate because it is a weird time to be doing that stuff. All right, we put that there. We put that there. Okay, now we're going to work on the right leg. Now that we did the feet, it's time to work on a leg, and then we'll work on the other leg. But yeah, I think like I'm totally in favor of any and all of these kind of like performances. It is an odd thing. You're totally right, Lashbrook. It's like a weird, like, oh, I guess yeah, I'll buy the poster, but you're just supporting the arts, and that's whatever, like just people trying to figure their stuff out, trying to see what's going on. Same thing when it's like, oh, I have today was my first day at work with a big raise. Hell yeah, Lord Crashington, get that raise. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's been a weird time, and if anybody can can get do the work and get especially their performance in. A lot of respect for folks that are able to do that because it's a weird time. So I'm totally in favor of that. I'm in favor of people starting to do live streams. They were just like, well, I've got this time, I guess I'll do that. Like, and that's everything from like indie wrestlers to professional wrestlers to just like comedians. A few friends that do like daily talk show things now because they are just they were looking for a crowd. There's a like a streaming on YouTube and Twitch, and then our archives of YouTube. So they network a friend of mine started because that's all he knows how to do is organize things. Like that's what he's best at is organizing. Like performers and doing all that, so he's been doing that, and that's his way of trying to stay busy and get out there and earn a little bit of money here and there. Like good on him, good on everybody. Uh, let's see. A friend of mine was like, "Should I start I want to do like I kind of want to do this thing and I'm kind of leaving my job to focus on more personal projects, but I have a fan base." And he asked me, it's like, so I don't know if I want to stream, but I want to make video stuff, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. But I want to have like a tier for people to support me because I don't think I can monetize it yet, or I won't be able to monetize it for quite a while, even though I have a fan base that's going to follow me. And it was like, should I like get a Patreon? And I was like, well, it depends. Do you just want to have like a bunch of folks like on board with what you do, and then do you want to do tiers? Do you want to like? It's like, oh, I just want to have it simple, so I'd probably just do one tier. And I was like, well, then you probably should just get an OnlyFans. And they were like, is that porn? And I was like, well, it has a lot of porn, and they're porn friendly, so a lot of people are into it. But they also have like, there are other people on there that just like that's one of the things they do. And it's nice because you can just like you can do content that costs more money, but you don't have to do that. You can just be like, hey, if you want access to all my posts, uh, it's this amount of money per month. And so I think he's going to be doing that. Although obviously, not obviously, might not know this. There were some shenanigans where someone got a bunch of fans on OnlyFans and then lied about the content of a private message where you have to pay to unlock the private messages. Lied about what was in it, and then a bunch of people were rightly very unhappy when they got scammed, so they requested refunds, and it fucked a lot of stuff up for OnlyFans. So they had to set some limits on their payouts because they were very good about paying people out and all this other stuff, and now they're having to deal with that. And it definitely didn't ruin things, but it probably also that site might have been flying under the radar for some banks and credit card companies that now they definitely will not be flying under the radar of about their content. And so that is bad for everybody because it's a site that didn't actively hate its users, um, which you can't say for Patreon because even if they don't outright hate me, Patreon sure does not act in my best interest in any way, shape, or form. Our interests don't even like accidentally line up at all, which is such a fucking bummer. Uh, really, yeah, it's really frustrating using that site. I wish that I did not need it, but I do. Uh, I think moving over to I wish I had started on coffee when gold happened. I didn't, and now I have kind of established Patreon, so I wouldn't want to give that up. But yeah, the problem of a service that surprisingly got big and wasn't ready for it. Yeah, so OnlyFans is running into an issue where look, there's always going to be chargebacks, right? There's always going to be a certain percentage of chargebacks because people are like, I got what I wanted, and now I'm going to say that I didn't want this. Normally they don't listen or care, but when it's very clear that you had that, but also the amount of money that changed hands and went through this, that suddenly we're getting the chargebacks was like they were not expecting this. So OnlyFans ran into a problem of they did not have protections in place for someone scamming at the level that the scam happened. They're always ready for, and of course there have been other instances of people like doing shady shit, but usually not that much shady shit that came out at once. They just got overwhelmed by the shadiness of it and the shittiness of it, which is understandable. And then Patreon is just the thing with Patreon is that there's a two-pronged thing. One, Patreon is clearly never been happy about adult content on anybody making anything even lewd on their site. They've just never been happy about it. They didn't say anything at first because they wanted money. But as they've grown and become much more of a thing, they are very quick to throw a lot of their user base under the bus as quickly as possible and abandon them as fast as they could because they never wanted them in the first place. And it's really frustrating. Overwhelmed by shady shittiness, big mood. Yeah, Aristofan. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I actually do like what OnlyFans is up to as far as their platform, and I have been kind of jokingly, kind of not jokingly, I had put a thing out about like, hey, normalize like being okay with OnlyFans because one, it's not just adult content, and two, it doesn't matter if it even if it was just all adult content because it's not all that. But even if it was, it's still fine because remember, I dropped a piece. Where did it go? Uh, remember that Patreon was a punchline. Oh, like, oh, hey, well, yeah, support me on my Patreon or join my Patreon or, well, when are you going to quit this? And, oh, you're left your job? When do you start your Patreon? And now it's just like, oh, you have a Patreon? Yeah, you should have had one a while ago. Oh, yeah, good for you. Cool. Oh, neat. You got to pay. Oh, hey, yeah, I could give $1 for that. Or, oh, I'm at my limit for giving money to Patreons, but that sounds rad. Or, yeah, I just stopped supporting this person because I've just done it for a long time and they don't really keep it up to date. So, yeah, all right. Now it's just like another revenue service and we don't bat an eye on it. In the same way that, like there's too much of it, but there was a time where it was like, oh, cool, you're on Kickstarter? Oh, you're on Indiegogo? Okay, and then it hit a point where it was like, oh, good, hell yeah, make your thing, get it done, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, nice. Oh shit, that's great. Ooh, I wish your video had better sound. Like, then we're just like, but it was still the thing where we were like, yeah, all right. Um, but I would say like, the hope is that folks will just get ahead of the curve on stuff like that, and we'll just start with being like, oh, cool, and not like get there like over time, like just be on the bleeding edge of being like, oh shit, all right, oh cool, because you'll just fucking feel better about that shit. Uh, all right. There's another one out there that is like OnlyFans, but I forget the name of it, but it is similar to OnlyFans. In that you subscribe and do all this other stuff, but then they have a thing where you can pay to send messages to the person, uh, and so it's almost like an inverse cameo. It is like a, and that one feels like do what you gotta do, get your job done, but this whole like pay to send a message to somebody feels like it is ripe for abuse. And obviously, because it comes down to the thing of like, oh, this thing that got sent to me is awful. Well, I did accept the money, and I did say that, like people can message, and like even though I have guidelines, like that just feels, I don't know, it feels that part has felt and continues to feel odd in a way that I'm like, I don't know if I like that idea of the site, but I'm also like, hey, get your ad revenue and get your money in, get your stuff done. As somebody that in a few minutes is going to stop working on this leg or working on the next leg, I should say, and tell you about all the ways you can support this channel. Like it would be a weird hypocritical move on my part if I was like weird at all about any of these services, unless they're exploitative, obviously. Um, uh, I was a little annoyed. Um, Speaking of money stuff, like I'll briefly talk about this. There was uh, a group that was like, hey, if you're an artist that is affected by you're not able to perform, you can't do the work that you would do, or you work behind the scenes. We have this artist relief fund, and we can't give you a lot of money, but we can give a lot of people $250. And there was like, I ended up signing up for it. I was like 1300th person before they shut it up down. So I think the last time they emailed, they were like, yeah, it was July was the last time they sent an email. Um, but they were adding a partnership. They were getting some money in, uh, and they had been. Oh no, it was something like where I was in the queue was just like there were a lot of people that needed to get that were ahead of me in it. Uh, all right, so they paid out to up to 1,500 people, and I was 1,800. So, uh, but yeah, the last email came in the middle of July, and so I feel like more other stuff happened there. Uh, and like I said, $250, like that's great, but that is not life changing. That is not. But it would have been nice to get that. I was a little bummed because there has not been communication in a month and about a half now. So I would have liked an update to been like, hey, here's where we stand on things. We're done. Or whatever. Like some sort of closure. Looks like we're not getting that, which is a bit of a thing. Like obviously, it's mostly just like, oh, checking these emails and all that. And it seemed like a very cool thing. And I was supportive of it, obviously. But, oh well. What are you going to do, right? Can't win them all. All right, let me get some pieces set out here to work on this next leg, and we will take our pause for the calls in a moment or two, and then I'll start talking about, oh boy, 3 anime episodes to talk about, and some things happened in a few, and some other stuff didn't happen in a few other ones, and one was cute and fun, and one, a whole lot happened, and then, y'all, since last night, when I watched this episode, I have been wanting to talk about Food Wars since, and I kind of can't wait to talk to you about Food Wars because holy shit. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. It won't be the most positive part of my conversations about anything, but it is a necessary thing to talk about because holy fucking shit. So, all right. It's just the pacing. I'll say that. The pacing of Food Wars. This was episode like 8 or 9 or whatever. There's only like, yes, that's right. There's only 4 episodes left of the show. And it feels like this should have been a double length if they were going to do what they're doing. Because now they were really slow about things, and now they're just rushing through stuff. Okay. Let's take a pause for the calls. First and foremost, hey everybody. If you're currently a subscriber, you can go to the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat, let the people know what's going on. Always appreciate that. Thank you very much for being a subscriber. I'll get through this fast because, we don't got a whole lot of fun folks tonight, which is okay. It's all right. That happens. But I thank everybody who's here and hanging out. Appreciate it very much. I'm going to go through ways you can support the channel if you'd like. You're under no obligation to do so, but if you would like to support the channel, hey, that would be cool. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. Nightbot stuff I got to look up. Here we go. Okay, I have a Patreon. Hey, if you're going to join my Patreon, if you haven't joined my Patreon yet, just wait till the 1st. Don't join it today. Join it in a couple days. Join it on Tuesday or whatever. Yeah, join on a Tuesday. Get the full month. Get your whole bang for your buck there. But yeah, consider joining my Patreon because sometimes the $5 tier here, that's too much money. You could use your Twitch Prime coin if you wanted to. You could gift a sub. Adjective Noun Gaming is the only person that ever gifted a sub this month. So if you want to gift a sub to somebody else, you could do that. Bits and coins, always appreciated. You're under no obligation to do any of that, but if you would like to do that, it means a lot, and I would appreciate it. So consider doing that. Let's see. So we'll get through this pretty quick. Also, one-time donations because Patreon, Twitch, all that stuff, that's recurring. But if you wanted to once, just throw a few dollars my way, you could do that to my Ko-fi, my Streamlabs, or my PayPal. That is a way to support the channel if you wanted to. Again, you don't have to do that, but if you'd like to, you could. I have an Amazon wish list. You could join my wish list if you wanted to. It is. I have 2 Lego sets and a model kit that have come in via Ristafan, which I appreciate very much. And I've got some inexpensive Lego. I'm going to try to put some more inexpensive Lego up on there because that seems like it's a nice option to be able to give people. But I've got some high grades, some real grades, some master grades, big kits that are now suddenly not shipping with Prime or are shipping with Prime again, which is great. Whole bunch of different kits on there, and I would appreciate it if there's something on there that you suddenly if they're like, yeah, I want to see Pat build that. You could buy that on Amazon, and then I'll build it. That's how that works. And then it jumps the queue, as I said. It's another nice thing. So even though I have a Lego set and 2 model kits in my own backlog, that gets pushed aside, and we're working on a next thing. We're working on some Lego sea creatures next. That'll be part of the next build, which I don't think we're going to get to tonight, but so we'll definitely be able to get to it on Monday. And that's going to be very fun. Let's see. Also, USA Gundam Store. If you didn't want to use Amazon, I fucking get it. But I've got a USA Gundam Store. You can jump in there. You buy a gift card, and then you whisper me here on Twitch or DM me on Twitter the code that you get in your email of that gift card, and then I'll use that gift card. That is a nice way to support what I do. I have a Discord. Join my Discord. If you're watching this later on YouTube, hi people watching this later on YouTube, check the show description below the video for all of these links, and then click on a couple of them if you want. And try watching a live stream. YouTube people, I understand. Maybe you work while I'm streaming. Maybe you're coming home from work because I stream 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. Pacific, and you're traveling. I get that. You work nights. I get that too. But yeah, YouTube people, why don't you watch a live stream once in a while? All right, we're gonna get back to building in just a moment, but this is just me doing my pause for the cause here. Let me click on. Okay, so on Monday I have a new video coming out on Monday. Pat Baer's Anime Club. It is a video essay, but the last one I did, in case you missed that, which was 2 Mondays ago, I did one on some of the video essay sites that I like on YouTube that focus on anime. Some that focus on one series, some that focus on a couple subgenres. Just stuff that I think is cool that you should check out. And the show description of that video lists all of those. And then if you missed Wednesday's Baering the List, I talk about ice cream flavors. I just rank things on Baering the List, and I ranked ice cream flavors. And I think it turned out pretty good. So you can watch that. I think that's ice cream flavors, right? Hello. It is. It's ice cream flavors. I made a new one for next week, next Wednesday, that's going to be great and is very related to this channel. All right, so I'm going to drink a little water here, and then we will get back to building, and I will talk about the anime that I watched the past couple of days as we start working on this other leg. Let me drink a little water here. Water. Oh, all right. Stretch it. Roll this. Get into it. I'm a little sore from today. I sat at this computer chair for too long today. Like I said, I had some work stuff that I did, and then I was also on a podcast. Was very happy to be on that podcast. It was very fun. But yeah, I definitely like feeling a little sore. Are you going to rank your lists at some point? I love that, Lord Crashton. I think, I would say it would be pretty funny to, for my 50-second one, because I'm only going to do this for a year, because that's what I do now. I guess I do that. If the last thing I did was my lists, and I ranked all of my lists from 1 to 52. For 1 to 51, because I wouldn't rank the ranking video where I ranked all the videos. That wouldn't be included in it. But I could do all of the other ones. So I would rank the 51 videos that I did. Oh, Lord Crashington, that's a pretty good idea. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but also I'm probably going to do that. We'll see if I remember it the last week of January, or the first week of January. but that's a pretty funny idea to rank all of my ranking videos and be like, Pringles. A lot of people disagree with my list about Pringles, but I thought it was fun. Shonen protagonists. I talked about this for too long. Gundam Wing Pilots. That one was really good. That one was great. I just start ranking all of that. Sandwiches. Ooh, people were real mad about my opinion on Monte Crisco's, but I thought it was great. Or just ranking all of that is very silly. That I can get on board with that. You obviously put the ranking video dead last because of how dumb it is. Yeah. Episode 52, this video where I'm ranking things. This is a pretty good video. I'm going to give this a D. It's not great. I've done better ranking videos. That is a funny idea. All right. Let's talk about some anime. Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out is the first show that I watched. That came out last night. So this was the end of episode 8, which is, I'm thinking something's going to happen. This is a very, the episode here, like every episode of Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out, is cliche because it is only kind of inventive in the character banter, the back and forth banter the characters have, which is pretty fun. But all of their situations they put themselves in are usually pretty cliche. They're good, but they're often cliche. So the last episode was Hannah's birthday. It was her first time drinking, and she got really drunk, and she threw up on his futon and bedding, his spare futon and bedding. So she's apologizing for drunkenness and offers money from her mom because she hasn't got paid from her part-time job at the same cafe. Which, side note, I was hoping we would get more of them working together and interacting at the job. We don't really get that, and that is kind of, in my opinion, a missed opportunity for workplace shenanigans. It occasionally happens, but I was expecting that to be more of the show. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But people misunderstand based on the way she's acting. It was very cliche, like, oh, she's saying things and they're misunderstanding the situation because he's kind of a scary-looking guy, yada, yada, yada. It's all going to work out okay, though. And then, so they kind of settle and figure stuff out. But he's talking to the cafe owner and his daughter, his coworker. He doesn't give them all the details. They give him a voucher for a fireworks festival. Okay, so here's our big cliche. The couple, who's not a couple, are going to go see fireworks at the fireworks festival. If you've watched anime, you know what's coming up next. Hana is going to be wearing a hirika, which is the traditional thing. She's wearing the shoes. She's got the purse for her stuff. She's like, this is traditional. This is like very anime to have this be a thing, and have them spend some time and focus some attention on that. This is very anime. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So they get some food but things are awkward. Hana is just not herself. She's very timid. She just feels like so embarrassed about what happened, and how, and basically all the situations. It's a little bit on like her wanting a kiss, but mostly on her like being just like kind of embarrassing, and then also throwing up on his stuff. Anyway, so he starts complimenting her outfit. That was the advice that he got from his boss. Was like, throw compliments in, and then she's like definitely acting more like herself. She's being like kind of jokingly condescending to him about it, even though he like doesn't love that. He likes her to be herself. He wants her to be more of her normal self, even if it is like he thinks it's infuriating. He's still like, I'd rather you do this than the alternative, which is just like be bummed out and feel bad. But he goes too far. He calls her cute, and she's like, oh, this is embarrassing. Like, she actually gets embarrassed. And then she's like swinging her bag at him to get him to stop, because she's like, hey, stop saying this stuff. Like, you're actually embarrassing me, because he's going overboard. And then she hits him in the head. And then so he passes out for a little bit, which is kind of cliche, but like I'll let that slide because what happens is unique. We get a flashback to when they were in high school together and just getting to know each other. Uh, and he's like very stern, and she's like more quiet. She's like not the girl we know her to be. But he encourages her in her swimming, and then they're walking after practice, and they come across a firework festival, and they hung out at that firework festival and saw the fireworks, and it was like, you know, that's a thing they already had in the shared history. And then he wakes up and he is laying in her lap because he's like coming to. Uh, and he kind of opens up a bit to her and tells her to feel better. Uh, and we get a little bit more of the old Hana. And it's like, nice. This is like their usual rapport. And their fireworks go off. And he can't see them because, he's in her lap, and he can't see what's going on because of his vision is obstructed by her breasts, which nobody freaks out about, and it's kind of fine. Um, so here's the thing, right? If this was episode 12, I would have said, oh, that was a really fun episode. They kind of reaffirm, because literally the episode ends with them like deciding they're going to hang out the next day, and her saying like, hey, I'm going to follow you where, I'll always be there. And him being like, yeah, all right, that sounds good. Because he talks about how, like, he experienced a bunch of stuff he wouldn't have if it hadn't been for her. Like, there's just, like, even if some of it didn't turn out as great as he would have liked, he wouldn't have done any of those things if it hadn't been for her. And it's like a really nice, touching moment. And it would have been a great end to the series. If this was episode 12, it would have ended really strong. It's not episode 12, though, which means, in my opinion, then something big is going to happen. There's a character shown in the opening that we haven't met yet, and I feel like that character is going to not mess things up, but mix things up. That is my prediction, is that we are going to get something in episode 9 to kind of change their relationship. Maybe push them a bit more romantically inclined. I don't know. But if you're looking for a fun show that sometimes is a little eye-rolly, like I said, its cliche stuff is incredibly cliche. There's nothing, there's nothing subtle about it. But it is got a lot of heart, and it is fun. And they're also characters who are romantically interested in one another, even if they don't know it, but dealing with their thing. And they're college-age students, which is very nice. Even if one is presented to look younger than she is, and as a joke that she's like that, she's still a college student, and that is great. I say, as an old man, it's nice. So that's that episode. Hey, I'm going to give you a spoiler. I jokingly made a Food Wars prediction, and it was true. The bookkeeper, the character that is the main, like the second antagonist in the show that has been pushing people, has been really pushing Erina hard. And we didn't know why. Why was she doing that? Why did she say she has no use for the God tongue? What's going on? What is happening here? That's her mom. Like, we've never found out what happened to her mom because she hasn't been around. Like, we've met her. So her grandpa was in charge of the school and is by all rights an awesome dude. And then her dad, or that's her like on her mother's side. Her dad is a goth weird dude who has like shitty opinions. It's not bad that he's goth. He just is. That like got like kind of messed up and warped, and I would say definitely married Erina's mom because Erina's mom also has the God tongue. That's why he married her. And then we find out in this episode, Lashbrook apparently been holding his tongue. We found out in this episode that she left because because the God tongue has ruined her, basically. She can't eat food unless it's incredible. So she just has an IV for nutrients, and this whole blue thing is to find, like, she thinks maybe these noir people uh, are going to be like the exciting person that can really like save whatever they need, or like save her for whatever. Uh, and it's like, oh, okay, but the fact that she is like that, like it gives a little bit, so it's, at least there's a little bit going on as to why she's acting the way she is. But like, really? So her husband, so she abandoned her daughter and her husband, and then her husband ousted her grandfather from this prestigious place, and she didn't do anything about it because I guess she didn't matter. And then like tormented her daughter, but that doesn't matter because now she's like mistreating her daughter because I guess she sees herself in her because her daughter inherited her god, the god tongue. So maybe she's like, also like feels some remorse for it, but doesn't act that way. Also, a ton of shit happened this episode. Like, um, uh, like Arena defeated a Noir member we learned nothing about. Then Megumi defeated a guy in a mask and with claws again instantly, like out of nowhere. Megumi fought in 2 different battles in this one. Nonsense. This is so dumb. Aldini, it could turn. The Bookmaster would allow Aldini to team up with his brother, to face Arena, and he doesn't want to do that. His goal in facing her was to kind of like wake up the kind of the person she had become in the Shogugekis and the training of basically the version of Arena that we got to know in the last season, or the last like 2 seasons. Is kind of gone as she's under the pressure of like showing her mother once and for all or whatever. She's kind of losing herself, and we're getting this like different version of her. So that was his attempt, was to kind of like pull her back, which didn't work because that wasn't going to work. And of course, our main villain, or one of the 2 villains, Asai, to completely beat Megumi, because of course he did. So Megumi had 2 fights, and we saw barely any part of the dishes she did. There's very little reaction from any of the judges in this episode. They just had to clearly they had to get through a lot of this episode as fast as they could, which is never a good sign. But of course, so then there's the thing where Asai is like, oh, your mother supports this, I'm going to marry you and whatever, blah, blah. I'm, whatever. Everyone's rooting for me. No one thinks that I won't win this whole thing. And then we see Soma say, I disagree with you. So, Lasbrick, hold your tongue until, things happen more. Because I'm going to now... Pat Baer is going to predict things based on the nonsense that is happening here, the complete and utter nonsense of this season. Here are my predictions. Soma is going to outshine his dad by being able to defeat his arch nemesis. So he's going to do something that will defeat him, and he's going to win in the his semifinal and defeat him. He is going to face Arena in the finals, and in an attempt to kind of like bring her back from the edge or whatever nonsense that we want to say, whatever choice he does, my prediction is he's going to make an egg dish, because you may remember the very beginning of the series, he made an egg dish, but he was so annoying that she didn't say that it was good. And so he's been trying to get her to like an egg dish that he's made. So that is my prediction, that he will make some sort of egg dish for her in the finals. But she'll win because she's like, even though the story is about Soma beating Asai is his victory and his story and arc, but defeating her mother, or not defeating him and like winning the thing, is uh, Erina's arc. That is her journey. So she has to win the whole thing. Even though the main character of the show has really only lost a couple times, even though he's the main character of the fucking show, I don't think he's going to win. Last says, I'll be honest, I don't remember. Also, this is a new thing. So that's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to go, Soma wins, defeats his rival, but does not defeat her because she's always one step ahead of him. Even if he is inventive and does some interesting stuff, he's always one step behind her. And it's important for her to win. It would be weird if he won against her mother. Maybe the series ends with the idea that they're going to start dating or get married or something. Maybe a romantic thing is hinted at, and then they kind of move past it because there are other characters that are also clearly invested in him. And it would definitely make sense for them to focus on that. So maybe. Also, the mild prediction. So Asai, the guy that is an orphan, that met Soma's dad for a little while, and that's why he uses Soma's last name. Yukihara's last name. He uses Soma. I was watching the opening and closing animation to the video yesterday. And it struck me, y'all, the young version of this dude when he's a young person. Hello, welcome. The young version of Asai, the villain character, looks a lot like Erina's dad. That's one thing about this show is characters are very distinct, even if they are not. They don't spend any time with them. They're very distinct and unique. So that leads me to believe that they are related because nothing is a coincidence and everything is interconnected. So if the leader of this organization can turn out to be her mother, then why not the dude that wants to marry her? And why wouldn't they be related? So that is my other prediction. That one I don't feel as strongly about as I do the other things, like how the show ends. That is exactly how I think it's going to end. But so I feel a little less strong about the idea of them being related. But I do think the other parts are going to be proven to be true. It would be weird if Soma didn't defeat the guy that defeated his dad. The whole reason that would be really weird. If he didn't defeat his rival for the season, it'd be kind of strange. But yeah, so that's Food Wars. It's certainly a goddamn thing. I don't know. I was happy when it came back because it had teased it. You got your first Gunpla today. Hell yeah, what did you pick up? That's awesome. Welcome to the world of Gunpla. We'll also be talking about an anime that I watched today, where a lot of information was presented and a lot of stuff was talked about. There was a whole lot of info on today's episode of Misfit at Demon King Academy. A whole lot of information was presented. Found out the small mom-and-pop hobby shop sells perfect grades, Verkai to HG. You got the original Origins 15. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is... that's just a great Zaku 1, right? If I remember correctly? Is that the Origins 15? Yes, that's the Zaku 1. Char's Zaku 1. I just did some research to remember. Uh, the Char, yeah, the first red comet. Yes. Yeah, it's the Zaku 1 before, folks decide the Zaku 2 is. The Zaku 1 is great. That is a, high grades are a great place to start, and that's a lovely nostalgia trip. So, great. Uh, all the Zaku 2s are great. In fact, I have a Zaku 2 real grade that I can't wait to. It's not Char's, but it's Zaku 2 real grade that I can't wait to work on in the future. Real grades are a tough one, but I haven't done one in a while, so I'm looking forward to working on that. But hell yeah, congrats! All right, so I got to talk about the Misfit of Demon King Academy because a lot of information was presented. It makes sense after the last episode where some defeats happened and there was a bunch of storyline stuff. It makes sense that this next episode they would info dump a bunch of stuff. But basically, I love that Origin Zaku 2. It's a good cat. Yes. Um, okay, so we opened the episode 2,000 years before our modern telling when Anos is still alive, before he sacrifices himself to put up all the barriers and basically end the wars that have been going on between demons and humans. So the hero Canon. Canon was the greatest hero. He had 7 sources. He could not be killed because if you killed him, you killed one of the sources, one of the other ones would activate and he'd be revived. He was like the strongest hero. Well, the person that trained him, Jurga, basically dies. He attacks Anos as Anos is saying like, "Hey, I've been thinking about peace. Is that something you'd be interested in? Don't you think this should end?" Anos also reveals that apparently humans killed his mother some point in these wars or before he became the Demon King of Tyranny. We don't know. So that ended. So we kind of get this guy, and he kind of curses Anos' name, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, makes sense that some humans would hold hate in their heart and never believe that he wanted peace, even though he did. Now we're back in the present, and we see some banter that we haven't seen in a while between the twins and Anos, and their teacher is saying that their new teacher, because the old teacher mysteriously disappeared because Anos turned her, basically killed her and then had her be reborn as a mixed race between a partly human and partly demon because she hates them. So he was like, well, maybe someday you'll learn to love yourself, which is a really fucked up punishment. Anyway, there are going to be inter-academy activities between the Human Hero Academy, one of the Hero Academies, and their school. And apparently, they even say, which I think is you all could have hinted. We've been talking about doing this for a long time, but for some reason it accelerated, and now it's happening. And it's yeah, that's clearly, is somebody's plan. They're accelerating to the next steps of their plan. Anyway, it looks like the demons don't know a lot about heroes. I'm gonna cough here. And they're wondering why, since it's to the time of peace, why is there a Hero Academy? They're not quite sure why there's a Hero Academy. Lei is back in the group, and he is given the unique sword Shigesta, which was the sword that his right-hand man used to have, Shin. And Anos kind of wonders if Lei's well, maybe I'm the reincarnation of Shin. Because I know that I remember things. I don't remember anything, but I remember the vibes of things. I feel like maybe I'm a reincarnation. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, you might be Shin, but you might be somebody else. And that might be the hero canon. Which would be interesting if that's who it was. Because now it's friend. used to be, the hero that he fought against but had a lot of respect for. It's like, oh, that's kind of neat if that's what it is. Um, let's see. All right. They have to travel to the Hero Academy, and they do, of course. They just teleport there. Um, the group splits up, and Sasha gets some alone time with Anos, which is kind of nice. And then they meet Eleanor Bianca, who is a hero trainer, who's training to be a hero in her third year, and she gives them a lot of information. We get an info dump. We learn about the academy and how the heroes are taught that Canon defeated the Demon King and built the walls, not that the Demon King sacrificed himself. It's like, well, why don't they know that? And why do they also know this false Demon King's name, not his name? And it's like, oh, I wonder why that is. And then there's some people that report to be the reincarnations. There are maybe 4 reincarnations of Canon. And one of them interacts and tries to attack Anos, and it very clearly does not succeed in doing that. And then we find out at the end that Canon can't be fully resurrected with his memories, because he's like, well, if you were one of the 7 sources, you would remember me because you would have his memories. But apparently none of them have his memories, even if they are reincarnations, because somehow in the way he was murdered by another human, and so he won't resurrect with his memories. And so we're going to learn more about that, and we'll learn more about the other heroes and more about this conspiracy. Like, we're heating up. So this wasn't like an overabundance of strength. Like, he did defeat a guy pretty handily by blinking at him. The guy was like, don't blink or you'll miss it. And he was like, what if I blink? And he blinked, he blanked. But he did blink, and then the guy just got fucked up, which is kind of funny. So yeah, certainly not as fun as other episodes, but we're learning more about the story. I will say in general, I am pleasantly surprised by this show. I mean, yes, is it still an overriding, nonsensical, overpowered main character that is never really in trouble and never really worries? Yeah, it's totally that. It's totally that thing. 100% it is that kind of thing. But there's other stuff going on. And, last episode, there was a moment where he was like, I'm not sure what to do. And things worked out. But he didn't, have a plan, which is interesting. And I feel like he's going to deal more stuff. And the fact that he doesn't know, what happened is interesting to see where it's going to go. So overall, I like it. All right, we are body complete now. We're going to build our backpack, which also houses the big bazooka, our bazooka backpack. But we are... This has to pop into that, and then we'll be body complete. So let's get this to go into that. Maybe I should have done it first. Nope, there it goes. Great. Skirt doesn't seem to want to fall off, which is always nice. But we got to put the backpack on. But we are body complete with our kit, which is great. And yeah, that's the anime since the last episode. I will talk about Fire Force on Monday. Like I said, I got busy today. And also, even though the last 2 episodes have been better than every other episode in this season, overall, I haven't been as thrilled with Fire Force Season 2 as I was with Fire Force Season 1. But we'll see how this battle goes. Shinra's going to have to fight basically, kind of alone a demon. And we'll see if he can handle it. But yeah, I just didn't get a chance to watch it. But I'll watch it for Monday, because I'll also watch One Piece, even though I think this next episode is going to be real sad, because it's coming up on some drama. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then Ninja Collection and God of High School. There was a preview for the new episode of God of High School where basically Mira has to fight alone because Dowie can't fight because he interfered in another match, so he can't fight in this round. And our boy Jin is missing, so because he found a note thing that basically was like a map of where his grandfather is, which is definitely a trap, and he definitely should not go. But he's going, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, so I got to put some stripes on this bazooka. So let's put some stripe stickers on here. But yeah, that'll be Monday. I do want to remind folks that next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, my bonus gaming stream is going to be Jackbox. It has been a long time since we did a Jackbox stream. I haven't done one since my birthday stream in June, the end of June. And then also, that was not with chat, that was with guests. So I haven't played with chat since May, at least. So I want to do that. I want to do a Jackbox stream and play some games with all y'all. So I hope y'all come out for that. We'll just play a bunch of them, and then probably not again until the new one comes out. But yeah, we'll play a bunch of different Jackbox games, and I think it'll be real fun. So feel free to come watch that next Wednesday and play, because we'll want people in the chat to play as well. And then Monday is my next build stream. Well, we will finish this up because we have basically the last weapon to build after we finish this up. So we might finish this up tonight, but I don't know if we're going to get there. But if we don't, whatever. I got a Lego set to work on as well. And then my next I'm going to say, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, that's noon Pacific, at Loading Ready Run is the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Loading Ready Run. I will be jumping in for Kathleen's Island Tour. It is a Animal Crossing stream, and some friends are going to be on that, and I'm going to be giving some color commentary basically to as they give a tour of their islands. I will be kind of talking about that and saying stuff like, ooh, and wait, you can do that? Or I haven't seen that in that color. And kind of just giving my impressions and thoughts. It's a very lovely stream. It's a very chill stream. So for your Sunday afternoons, if you're looking for something chill and fun to do on a Sunday, the archive will go up, and I will post the link to the archive when it does, if you miss it live, but it'll be a fun time. It's like a very fun stream, so I'd recommend that. And it's always nice to be part of the, or to be a guest on the fantastic, wonderful folks at Loading Ready Run, because they're great people, and I'm a fan, and especially I am a fan of that stream, so it's just nice to be on it because I like it. That's the wrong piece. We need A327. I believe this kit has some pieces from like a variation of this. Like there's a weapon in here that we're not going to build that is from an old version of this kit, or like the high grade that this is based on. So there's some extra components in here, but that always happens. All right, so looks like this. Oh, we got going on here. Ooh, Hidden Monkey is raiding with a party of 6. Welcome, welcome. Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. We're working on a great high grade here, the Galbaldy Rebake. So yeah, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. Working on this great high grade. We're working on the backpack right now, and I'm trying to figure out how this backpack works. It's always a fun little thing. I think it just, it goes like that. Okay. Well, that was not super hard. But yes, welcome. I'm only going to 11 o'clock tonight, so you'll get a little time hanging out with me. I hope you enjoy it. My next build will be on Monday. That'll be next stream. But yeah, thanks for coming. Um, if we don't finish this up tonight, I will finish it up on Monday. Uh, so I don't. Rebake is this is not the only kit to be called the Rebake. Uh, and like I mean, build fighters and build divers. One of the core elements of those shows is taking old kits because it is a world where Gundam is a show in that world. So it's like people are fans of Gunpla and then make their own custom modifications to things. I think that's in divers. That's definitely in build fighters. Uh, so there's a lot of that. So there are a lot of customizations. Like the Fenris is basically the Gundam wing, but different kind of. And the Love Phantom is like the Death Scythe, but kind of different. And there's one kit I can't remember the name of it that is uh, basically the Shenlong Gundam, but it has different animal heads instead of just dragons. Which I can't remember the name of that. But yeah, it is an odd thing. I think we'll just do let's just do the shield. We'll save the big claw for later. But yeah, so now it's got a big gun, big cannon here, doing its thing. Yeah, it's an odd assortment of things. But yeah, if you're new here to the stream, please consider giving me a follow so you know when I do my next build stream. I appreciate that. I stream Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, with model kit building and Lego building. I'm going to be working on a Lego set. Thank you for the follow, Apache. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to add a new, I imagine part of it sounds cool, but from Abio to Gustian and rebuilt and ditched all the heavy armor. Yes, the Gustian was called a Rebake, so that might be where they got the name from. That's right. I forgot about that. Thank you, Lashbrook. Oh, also, Dosmef, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. The next thing I'll be working on when this is complete, because is the Lego 3-in-1 Sea Creatures. So we're going to make that cool little crab right there, and a shark, and a squid, and I'm going to look up the name of that fish. It's the fish that has the light in front of it, naturally in water, so it attracts things, and then it just gobbles you up. There's a name for that fish. We're going to build that. Lego 3-in-1s, if you haven't seen, are basically you... all right, so wait. Okay, so we get that part, and then E121. The way the anglerfish. Yes, anglerfish. Thank you, multiple people. I appreciate that. So yeah, the idea is that you build one of them, and then you disassemble it, and you build the other version. But you can build up to 3 versions of something here, because it's a 3-in-1. And you disassemble it, and then you choose the one you want. And also, a lot of times they're kind of inexpensive kits, but they're perfect for my needs because the idea that you can, get 3 builds out of one set, even if it's only 100 and something pieces, you can still do a lot with that. So it's pretty neat. So for my my situation, it's rad. So yeah. We do have enough time. Well, let's get that done. Have you seen what a giant isopod looks like? I'm gonna look now. Giant isopod looks. Oh yes, I have seen that. Yeah, it's like, what if a cockroach, basically was a crustacean? Was like, yeah, what if a what if a shrimp? Yes, this is good. What if a shrimp was also a a giant insect? Oh, yeah, those things are real messed up looking, but great, but real messed up looking. I did want to point out this. So this has got a big old horn. You can see there, it's got a big old horn. It's got a big backpack cannon. It's got a giant claw thing that we're going to make, the hammer claw, and a very tiny shield that also has a gun on it. But the shield is very tiny, and I appreciate this is a tiny shield. I just think that's cute. Why not? Have a tiny shield, why don't you? It's just cute. All right, so I'm gonna put that like that. There we go. All right, and we'll just press that down. But yeah, that's a really tiny shield. There it goes. The pistol shrimp. Yes, I've seen that. I've seen the pistol shrimp. I like that pistol shrimp is also the name of like some little league, like not little. I said little league. That's fucking rude as shit. Minor league baseball teams. I've been to a pistol shrimp game before. Um, it's also like a parody of that. That was I think it was the pistol shrimps was like a like goofy half serious basketball league in LA, uh, but also the name of some minor league teams, and I really like that. Oops, that thing came apart. That's not good. There we go. Yeah, this thing. I'm gonna have to take a photo like this because it doesn't really want to lay on its side with its big rocket here. So we'll just stand it up for a photo. At the end of the stream, let's build the hammer. We got time. We got 10 minutes left. There are a lot of good, weird names for minor league baseball teams. And totally, um, we got enough time to finish this kit up properly by building this. Uh, is it a hammer? It is a hammer, but it's also like the jaws of life, like a big clamp. I don't know. There's some nonsense with this weapon, but I do think that it's neat. So that goes on there, and then this is the other part, and we'll snap them together, and then we will put some stickers on it, because we got to put some stickers on it, because these are just some big pieces, because it's a high grade, right? If this is a master grade, there'd be a lot more going on here on this, but since it's a high grade, they gotta, you know, make it a little simpler. So we'll put this on here, and then we'll put some stickers on it, which is just all of these little stickers here. I think one of the minor league teams is the Sand Fleas. A real grade is fancier than a high grade. Basically, a real grade, they're the same size. Yes. So high grades are the 144 scale, and then master grades are the 100 scale. So they're a lot bigger. They're a lot more detailed. So the idea of the real grade is basically let's make a very like small pieces, components, very detailed uh, kit, but in the 1144 scale size, the high grade size. So it's the same scale as the high grades, but it is because it's relatively newer, but it is more like a master grade. Because back in the day, you could get 1/100 scale high grades and master grades. Now these days, almost every 1/100 scale is just a master grade, and they don't make big high grades anymore. They make RE100s, which are basically like pretty much high grades, but sometimes a little more detail in that size. Uh, but yeah, so that is basically it. You have the Akron Rubber Ducks, Lord Crashington. I don't even care. I don't think you're making that up, but if you were making that up, I'd be okay with it because that's great. If you were just lying to me, I'd be okay with that. Because I like that there are we're the Rubber Ducks. Just just feels like such a. It's not disrespectful, but it definitely feels like they're like, yeah, we know what we are. We're the minor league team that if you say, oh, I played minor league ball, and they say, where? You would say Akron. You would not say the other part. Uh, all right, let's get the sticker on there. But yeah, so perfect grade is the 160 scale. It is the most detailed, huge, giant kits that you can get there. There's been like two or three in its lifetime 160 scales that are non grades. There's a 160 scale Wing Zero that is basically just a giant high grade, which is a pretty fun kit to put together. Or I would consider that to be like a nonsense kit. That is a fun nonsense kit because it's a very large high grade. Um, the Iron-Blooded Orphan kits that are out there are what's called full mechanics, and some of them are called non-grades, but they now are like retroactively basically the full mechanics line. And those are basically, I don't know properly how to describe that. They're they're in the 1/100 scale. They're not quite master grades, but they're not high grades. They are somewhere in between. Uh, where like you have a complete inner skeleton. You get like you build the whole skeleton first. It's pretty detailed and pretty cool, and then you put on armor, but it maybe isn't as intricate as like a master grade. Um, they're fun builds, and I would say they're probably a little easier than most master grades, except the thing if you ever watch Iron Blood Orphans, the Gundams are demon-like more than humanoid-like. They have like usually they have claws instead of just hands. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And they have this thing where like they're hunched over. They have this like kind of thing instead of just being straight. So when you put together the torso and the chest of a Iron Blood Orphans kit for the first time, it kind of feels like you're doing it wrong. Um, but eventually you get used to that, which is pretty unique because um, all of them are from like the Book of the Dead, like the names of like they're all references. All of the many Gundams from that show are all references to that. Uh, so they have like kind of a more like a demonic demonoid thing than a humanoid thing going, uh, which works with kind of the theme. I mean, it works with themes of all Gundam, but it also particularly works with themes from that show. Uh, but I kind of, I knew that, but once I started building them, that's when I really was like, oh, cool. They're going for something here. All right. We are almost done here. I just have to put 3 more stickers on, and then we're going to fetch. So we will end in a couple of minutes, and we will end with a raid. So, folks, we are gonna find somebody. Most likely, it will not be a builder. We are going to find one of my friends or people I follow, and have a lot of respect for. Generally, it's one of my friends, but sometimes I do follow people that are cool that I don't know in real life. Uh, but we'll find someone. They're probably playing a video game. They're a cool person that you should check out, and we'll go and give them a raid as I go and upload this video and do a bunch of other stuff and decompress after a stream. All right, so this is the big old hammer. See, big old hammer making it, doing its thing, but also claw, crush it, go for it. Harrison, thank you for the follow, appreciate that. But yeah, my next build stream will be on will be on Monday, so come check that out if you'd like. I appreciate that, but we're gonna go and raid somebody in a minute. I just want to get this on and see if I can have it hold it, because that'll be nice. And then we will go find some lovely person to give a raid to, and we will be cool and respectful and nice when we go and do that, because that's what I expect of y'all, is to be awesome people to someone that I decided to raid. But thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, again, if you haven't, give me a follow so you know when I go live, and you can come and see what's up with stuff I do. Again, Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern is my next build stream. I'm on loading ready runs. Stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. Gonna hang out and give some commentary. Stream tomorrow. That was a duplicate that I did not want to happen. All right, so let's see who we got going. Okay. All right, we are gonna go give It's been a while since he's been doing some stuff. So we're gonna go give the big man himself a follow. I'm gonna wait a second and check it out. But yeah, we're gonna go and give a raid. So feel free to come along as we raid my buddy. Uh, his username is Joseph Jabroni. Uh, but you know him as Dave Lang, the man himself. Uh, the chat is subscriber or follower only, so if you want to chat, you got to follow. But we are going to go in there, and Dave's playing some stuff. He's playing BattleTech, and that's cool. Hey, that's some mech shit. So we'll go give Dave a follow. I also just haven't seen Dave on Twitch in a while, and I'm excited to just hang out. So feel free to come along on this stream. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. I'll see you on the next Bill with Baer. Oops, I did that instead of this. All right, well, that's it for the stream. So come along on the raid. I'll see you later. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.